This is Gordon Ramsay from Britain. This is Chef Kobayashi from Japan. What they have in common is that they both like to humiliate other people's food.
What is that there? Stupid cows!
食べなくてもジャッジが結果が出せる。
Give people a hard time, and have even made people cry.
For me? Don't start saying that.
にならないこのビジュアルが僕の中にはどうしても許せない。
However, Gordon's blunt personality only made himself more popular, while the same cannot be said for Chef Kobayashi. After criticizing Japan's national dish and humiliating the lady who brought the dish, he angered the entire Japanese internet and was cancelled overnight. This is the story of Japan's most delusional chef destroying his own career in the matter of a few minutes. Without further ado, let's dive into the story. January 1st, 2022, New Year's Day. Many people were off at home, giving them lots of time to watch TV. One TV show caught many people's attention. The show is called Secrets of the Professionals Revealed. As the name suggests, it's a variety show that invites professionals from all kinds of careers and industries to reveal secrets of their jobs. For example, once they invited high school teachers, who revealed that high school anime or dramas are not very accurate when it comes to student clubs, because in reality, most clubs are supervised by teachers to some extent. So forget about the occult club in Jujutsu Kaisen or the SOS brigade in Haruhi Suzumiya. Clubs like those wouldn't make it past the first episode, since teachers would never have approved them in the first place. This revelation surprised and enlightened many viewers who knew nothing about high school teachers. Over the years, the show has also invited policemen, farmers, doctors, basically any career you could think of, earning the show the nickname Jobtune. Now, one field that grabbed a lot of viewers' attention is the food industry. Whenever the show invites representatives from the food industry, viewership will shoot up, which is understandable as we all need to eat, so everyone can relate to food in one way or another. For example, in 2015, Jobtune invited sushi restaurant owners who revealed that in the sushi serving industry, there are actually sushi toppings that restaurants do not want the customers to order for more or less sinister reasons. That got a ton of people watching. Clearly, people were curious to learn about these sorts of things. Now, seeing that viewers had an immense interest in anything food related, the show launched a special series called Food Wars. Now, these were not the typical chef versus chef competitions people usually imagine. Instead, it's a program where the host would make high-end gourmet chefs taste and judge ordinary, affordable food. For example, they'd bring in elite master sushi chefs and make them judge budget sushi. Or they'll bring in high-end dessert chefs to review cheap desserts from the streets. And this program was an immediate success. Not only is it incredibly entertaining to watch, it also has practical uses. The food that got good ratings from the chefs would immediately see their sales go up. Because most viewers care about value for money, once a professional chef calls a cheap food delicious, demand for that food will skyrocket and people will naturally line up to buy it. Alright, so the protagonist of our story today, Chef Kobayashi, is one of the gourmet chefs invited on a special episode of the Food Wars series. This time, the theme is to judge convenience store food items. Now, you may think, convenience store food is trash, a sin against humanity. What is there to possibly review about? Well, not in Japan. Convenience store food is a thing in Japan. There's a whole blooming culture around it because it is freaking delicious. The shelves are stocked with everything from elaborate bento boxes, noodles and sandwiches, to specialty desserts that could rival gourmet desserts, and the list goes on. And you can get all that for very cheap prices. Therefore, convenience stores are an absolute staple in the daily lives of Japanese people. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about if you ever watched anime or any Japan-related content. Everyone talks about the convenience stores when they visit Japan. Alright, so this time, the show invited representatives from the top 3 convenience store chains, who would each put forward 5 of their best-selling foods for these gourmet chefs to review. So basically, these are extremely popular foods that are well-loved by everyday people of this country, which makes it just so much more entertaining to watch, to see high-end chefs giving their brutally honest opinions. So right off the bat, people anticipated that this was going to be a spicy, intense episode. And boy oh boy, what unfolded would turn out to be one of the most intense on-screen dramas in Japanese TV history. And all it took was a simple rice ball. This is the tuna mayo onigiri brought forward by Family Mart as one of the 5 popular items in the store. So how did this small, innocuous onigiri end up dragging Chef Kobayashi into a controversy so bad that almost ruined his career overnight? The reason lay in his attitude during the tasting. He refused to taste it at all. While the other judges had already mouth-sampled the onigiri, Kobayashi kept staring at it, turning it over and over in his hands, and refused to take a bite. His hesitation quickly caught the host's attention. The dialogue went like this.
Note, the following is a word-for-word translation of the original Japanese dialogue.
Hearing this, the representative from Family Mart, Mrs. Shiina, almost broke into tears due to the humiliation. She then spoke up, begging Chef Kobayashi to please give it a try. Seeing that Mrs. Shiina was on the verge of tears, Chef Kobayashi finally decided to take a bite, though his painful, constipated facial expressions made it look as if the onigiri was poisoned. He then proceeded to give the onigiri a bad rating. As a result, the onigiri lost the competition. Utterly humiliated, Mrs. Shiina broke into tears. Seeing that, Chef Kobayashi attempted to comfort her by offering his quote-unquote advice. At this point, there was nothing Mrs. Shiina could do except leaving the stage in tears. Now, if you're wondering why Chef Kobayashi looked down on budget foods, perhaps it has something to do with his background. Coming from a high-end Western cuisine background, he owns a posh, luxurious Italian restaurant. And by posh, I mean really darn posh. His restaurant only serves one party of up to 4 people per day, and the average price is a whopping 40,000 yen per person. On Japan's restaurant review site, it holds an extremely high rating of 4.47, ranking 3rd nationwide. He also has his own YouTube cooking channel, and based on the thumbnails of his videos, it is clear that he really cares about the look and the presentation of his dishes. Therefore, given this kind of background, perhaps it's no wonder that he just doesn't vibe with traditional, budget Japanese foods that look ordinary. Little did he know that the next day, his entire career would be put into question. Now, because the show aired during the holidays and the pandemic, a huge amount of viewers had tuned in and watched the show. So Chef Kobayashi immediately became the target of public outrage in Japan. Japanese netizens were angry at his arrogant attitude during the tasting stage. People rushed to leave 1-star reviews for his restaurant on Google, as well as negative comments. They also flooded his YouTube channel with dislikes and harsh comments. Just look at the like to dislike ratio. Now, to give you a bit of context on why it caused such a public outrage, the tuna mayo onigiri from Family Mart is an extremely popular item because it is insanely delicious. Most onigiri use plain white rice, but this one is cooked in a broth made from kombu, mackerel, bonito, and shiitake mushrooms, so it's got an incredibly rich umami flavor. The tuna filling is also seasoned with the same broth-based soy sauce, and mayonnaise is added to give it an extra creamy taste. The filling is also unbelievably generous, and the best part is that it only cost 118 yen, which is about 90 cents in USD, an absolute steal for the money. So Japanese people absolutely adore this rice ball, and you gotta remember that rice balls are the most common get-go lunch options in Japan, especially for salarymen. Much more common than sushi, as it is easier to eat and cheaper. So in a way, it is the dish that represents the national working class spirit. So the fact that Chef Kobayashi refused to even taste it was seen as extremely arrogant and pretentious. Now, some people start to draw the parallel between him and Gordon Ramsay and ask, why is it that Gordon Ramsay is given a pass by the public while Kobayashi is not? Well, Gordon can be harsh and brutally honest, but at least his judgment is somewhat grounded. When he explodes in the kitchen, it's because something has indeed gone wrong. Either the food is undercooked or overcooked or sloppily cooked, so at least his anger has a clear basis. Moreover, Gordon does not look down on ordinary food that ordinary people enjoy simply because he is an elite now. So yes, he is strict, but he's not snobby. Whereas Chef Kobayashi just comes across as plain arrogant for no reason at all. Interestingly, after this incident, the tuna rice ball from Family Mart saw an immediate increase in sales. Some stores even hopped on the hype and started trolling it, attaching a sign that says, "This is the infamous tuna rice ball that was slammed for not looking appetizing. Please enjoy." What followed suit was an escalation beyond anyone's imagination. While I personally also think of Chef Kobayashi's behavior as rude, I don't think he deserved what happened to him in the aftermath. Due to the overwhelming negative comments on Google reviews, Chef Kobayashi had to shut down his restaurant and his YouTube channel, putting his career on a hiatus. The situation got so bad that the original TV program had to issue a public statement, begging netizens to stop attacking people online. On top of that, some angry netizens vented their frustration at the wrong place, leaving bad reviews at another Italian restaurant run by someone who also happened to be named Kobayashi. That chef ended up having to issue a statement statement clarifying that he wasn't that Kobayashi who appeared on TV. Overall, it was a mess. Now, 3 years have passed, and it seems that his restaurant is back in business, which is good to see. But what a roller coaster experience that must have felt to him. After the initial heat around the matter cooled down, some netizens later realized that the TV program should also partially take the blame for the whole incident, because it turned out that that was not the only time the TV program offended the public. In November 2022, just 10 months after the rice ball controversy, another controversy arose during the Food War series. This time, a top chef roasted the pancakes from Royal Host, a budget chain restaurant, saying that they tasted like chemicals, a comment that quickly angered netizens just like the previous incident. So now people are beginning to realize that perhaps the true culprit is the TV program. In the Food War series, they deliberately throw together two sides with completely different values and backgrounds into a sensitive setting, a setting that is bound to spark clashes of values. In other words, it feels like the TV program is intentionally encouraging a confrontation to get views. So ultimately, the fundamental design of the TV program was what really sparked the controversy. What do you think of this whole drama? Feel free to leave your comments down below.